Welcome to A Case for the Kingdom. I'm your host, Case Land, and today my wife and I actually want to share our story of coming back to God. Her name is Amber, and you want to say hello to everybody?
Hello, everybody.
So I'll start. So I grew up in church with my siblings. We actually went to a different couple churches, and we never took it seriously. It was more of a little fun getaway. It was more so just to have friends and something to do, a pastime essentially. What about you?
Mine's kind of the same. I went to church from like 8 to 10 years old with my dad, but then after he passed away, we stopped going. And then I went to like a youth at Northside with a friend a couple times, but that was more like a hang out with friends, teenagers
Yeah.
type thing. So that's really all that was. I wasn't really taught anything.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that with me also. So we've been going to church since September of 24,
hmm
and we actually had God persistently pursue us through a friend of yours named Sarah.
hmm
You want to share? Yeah, you want to share a little bit about her?
Yeah, I met her 8 years ago. She was my boss at Graders, and we just clicked. And it was definitely a God-led friendship for sure. But over the years, she was constantly trying to get us in church. And every time I would go to her about any type of problem, she would bring God into it, scripture, all the things. And I obviously wasn't walking that walk. So I was like, why can't you just like hear me out and just let me vent instead of always having to give me a God answer? But now I understand why, because God is everything. So it makes sense. And I'm very grateful though.
Yeah, I think it's important to have friends like that, but to also be that friend for somebody.
I'm definitely that now for some, I feel.
Yeah, because I mean, God is going to use you, and He definitely wants your obedience. Because what if Sarah wasn't obedient and she just decided, God, I tried, and they keep saying no, they're not showing up, I give up.
Yeah. But the point is, when God works in your life, you want to spread that. You want Him to work in other people's lives like He has in yours. And that's the point.
So, little sis Sarah, we're grateful for your obedience to God. And she actually tried for
like 8 years.
Well, you all were friends for 8 years, but how long? Like before we actually started coming, it was like a 5 or 6 months where she's like, "Hey, are you all coming? Hey, are you all coming?"
Yeah, she would start inviting us to like summer things they had outside and different events that the church was hosting. And we would be like, yeah, we'll come. But then we're like, well, we don't really know anybody. So we didn't want to just be there.
Yeah.
We wanted to be, in a church and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and even before she started pursuing this, I started listening to some sermons online from people, and I started to be curious about faith again. And I was telling you how I had that weird smell in my nose, just the burning. I'm pretty sure we went to the doctor and they were like, "I don't see anything.
You did.
It's weird," but I had a little voice telling me, "This is a sign of where you're heading." And I think like maybe the grounding in church when I grew up and my grandma teaching me stuff or whatever, I think that at least made me aware to hell and the reality of it. And I think hearing just from family or whoever, and then the sermons, I had that smell, and it didn't go away until we got baptized, actually. But we'll get there in a second. So whenever we started coming to the church, well, hold on. So whenever, about 5 to 6 months before we actually started coming, she was persistent. We just kept making excuses. Well, we can't work.
Yeah, our flesh did not want that.
Oh, yeah, it was fighting it so bad. And then God actually used our children, and they were like, "When are we going to church? I want to go." And there's something about, as a dad, your daughter, your little girl, just wooing you, it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
And God knew that, so. But yeah, we ended up going. I think we said September 7th.
Something like that.
2024. And they actually had a guest speaker that night named TJ Malkanji.
Yeah, he's awesome. If y'all don't know who he is, go look him up.
We sat pretty far back, and he's preaching, and he just a fireball, just going at it, jumping around, all kind of stuff. And at the end, he made an altar call, and
Mhm.
we were a little hesitant. I made sure I didn't look at you because I knew that.
You were hesitant.
Yeah.
I was Holy Spirit led, and I didn't even know it yet.
Yeah, I was hesitant. Well, I mean, we were wanting a church, but you wanted a
Mhm.
small, intimate one, and I just wanted to go in and leave, and that's it.
Mhm.
But we were led there, and I'm thankful. Back to that night, I look over, and you're like, "You wanna go?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So we walked up there. It was awkward, but he comes past, and he's praying for everybody, and we're about in the middle, and he prays over me, and then he starts to walk past me to you and comes back and puts his hand on my chest or my head, I don't remember, but he said, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." And even though I didn't directly know what that meant, something inside of me just understood,
Mhm.
and there was a peace there when he said that. And then he prayed over you. Do you remember what he said?
No.
Yeah.
I'll have to try to find it and see if it's still online somewhere.
But yeah, after that night, uh, we started trying to be consistent going to church, and we slowly started to have a passion and then a joy for going.
Mhm.
But I think it really set off whenever we got baptized. And that smell that I mentioned that I had totally forgot about it until months after getting baptized because I was so used to it. I was like, just this burning, almost cigarette smell, and I didn't smoke. I don't smoke, but I just could never figure out what it was. But after getting baptized, I'm talking to some of the brothers at church, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I used to have this," and it hit me all at once. Like that smell is gone,
Mhm.
and it was like almost like an emotional. I realized I got set free from something, even though I didn't know exactly what it was. Well, I was saved.
Mhm.
That's what it was. But
Yeah.
what has been the biggest change for you since we decided to make this change for our family and for ourselves?
I don't even know where to start, to be completely honest with you. That's something I mean,
What have you seen God change in you or set you free from?
um, well, battling the anxiety and depression as much as I was whenever, we first started going to church,
Yeah.
which is something I battled for a couple years before we started going after having a Laura, and then which obviously, like, not saying he's not gonna heal me of it, I know he is, but he has shown me if something sparks it, obviously I go to him first. Like, he's given me
Yes.
those steps to know what to do instead of just turning to, like, medication or whatever. Just things like that, and then just being a mom and forgiveness and patience and loving others just to love them. Like, I felt like I had before, but then when those people weren't giving me what I guess the love that I gave them, it was kind of like okay, well, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, then it was,
Yeah.
I'm giving you this because this is what I expect from you in return. And
Mhm.
now it's, I'm doing this because I love you, and that's
Yeah.
it. Like, there is
Mhm.
nothing else. So that's something that I'm growing in.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but
No, it's not, but the work is still being completed in all of us.
mhm,
But in today's culture, it's hard because culture is like, oh, you cut off anybody that upsets you,
yeah.
if your opinion isn't the same, you cut them off.
And
But
you don't have to cut them off, but it is okay to love them from afar
yeah, it is.
and, but still be there for them. Like, there's certain people, if they were to call me and they absolutely needed me, I would drop what I was doing to be there. But they know that I love them, and that's all that I can do
Yeah.
at that point. So,
Yeah. And I loved, well, yeah, I did like to drink
hmm
and party. And we had our moments of smoking weed and do
hmm
other things that we shouldn't have, individually and together as a married couple. And I'm thankful that God has shown us a better way of living
hmm
and also the importance of it for our children. Because I'll never forget when our son, we were having a get together with people from church, him looking at us and saying, "See, we don't have to have alcohol to have fun."
hmm
And that just hit me in the heart, like just a reassurance that we were doing the right thing. We were walking the right walk.
hmm and the feeling that I had when, I think I had said it to you, whenever I stopped smoking, and I was like, following the Lord gives me this high that I can never understand.
Yeah, amen.
Like, it is so much, I don't know, like, people think they're fulfilled when they're smoking and they're getting high and all that stuff, but that fades.
Mhm.
Your walk with the Lord and your love for him and his love for you, that doesn't.
Yeah,
So,
and it
I don't
doesn't
know.
mean that it's not challenging because it
Right.
is, and there's moments where you're a brand new baby Christian,
Mhm.
you get all these words over you, you get all these goosebumps, but as you get closer, you may not always feel those little highs like that,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean that he's not there.
I've had a couple of those highs recently
Oh,
where
yeah.
I've
Oh,
been
yeah,
jumping
yeah.
off the walls,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there are lows too, and that's okay. That
yeah,
doesn't mean he's not there.
yeah, but it's a challenge of the walk
Mhm.
because, I mean, like Job, if you were only given the good and never experienced, like, that doesn't our circumstances shouldn't determine his
Mhm.
love for us, his closeness to us, because he is there. But I've always heard that saying too, the teacher is always silent during the test, and I know he wants to build our character
Mhm.
and for our character ultimately as Christians to resemble Jesus. Yeah, so getting baptized, we got plugged into the church, and then we started getting close with like friends and some of the elders in the church there.
Mhm.
And
Got a
some,
lot of relationships
oh yes, for sure.
soon. I felt like
Yeah,
we all clicked with so many
yeah,
people our age, even younger.
hmm yeah, I agree. And then one thing that you've always loved and you always wanted to be a part of, but you were very nervous, was the worship team.
Mhm.
And do you mind sharing?
No. Um, so when I was younger and I was going to church, like, I would always look, I don't know why, I just looked up to the people that was up there singing, and it wasn't even about them singing, it was praise, and ultimately, I realized that now, but as a kid, I was like, "Why do I admire them so much?"
Yeah.
Because they're getting up there, they're in front of people, they're singing, it sounds beautiful, but they're singing to the Lord,
Hmm.
and music has always been a passion of mine, and obviously, I'm too shy to ever sing in front of anybody, but
Yeah.
when we started going to that church, the worship team was one of the first things that, like, clicked in my head. Like, I saw them up there and they sing like more contemporary, like, stuff that you hear
Yeah.
on, the radio and elevation worship and stuff. So, but it's nice to be able to relate to a lot of that stuff. So seeing them up there, it was like, wow, like,
Yeah.
they sound great, like, that's amazing, whatever. And then, um, of course, I was talking to Sarah about it one time, and she mentioned it to Mary, Pastor Mary, and then there was like, "She can sing?" I was like, "No." But then just, I don't know, I guess the push, and then I was talking to Pastor Mary about it, and she wanted me to, like, audition kind of and
Yeah.
sing for her, and in my head, I was like, no, I can't do that. I absolutely cannot do that. I don't sing for people. It's just, I sang for my choir teacher in high school, and that was about it. But we would schedule and then I would cancel, and we would schedule again and I would cancel. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's the enemy. Like, the enemy is stopping me from,
Mhm.
one, doing something that I love to do, but I'm doing it for the Lord now. I finally did it, and I just took that leap, got out of my comfort zone because that's not where we're supposed to stay.
Yeah.
And I made the worship team.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know. Even though I'm not leading songs or anything, still being up there, being a part of that, just all the love that everybody has for each other, the love that everybody has for the Lord and that church, just being a part of that in general
Mhm.
is just amazing. It's amazing to feel that
Yeah,
connection and love.
it is an amazing church. Like, the very first time that we went, we felt welcomed. Like,
Hmm.
we felt like we belonged, we felt the love. It was no, "Oh, well, they're gonna judge us," because that was some fears that we had going
Hmm.
into it from, like, past church hurt, if you wanna call it that, which that's not always the case. Sometimes it's, like, it's okay to be offended,
Hmm.
but
Well, just going into a small church,
yeah,
people are looking at you like, oh, they're new, and they know that they're new. We're new. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So kind of like
yeah.
determining how they feel about us, but we never got any of that at all. Everyone
Oh,
was so
yeah.
welcoming and
And then what culture says, like, "Oh, well, church people are hateful, Christians
yeah.
are so judgmental," and even though we had somewhat of a background in that, that still was an irrational fear
Hmm.
that we had to get over. Me, I I started serving in a couple places in the welcome center with Pastor David, and then I started helping Hannah a little bit in administration, and then now I just kinda do a little bit of everything,
Hmm.
but Don't know exactly what God has fully in store for me at that church, but I'm excited to figure out.
Yeah.
But
And I helped with the pantry that one time,
oh, yeah.
and that was very rewarding.
Mhm. Yeah,
There was a lot of people coming in, and
yeah,
you don't see that, like, when you're out in the outside world, you know, and seeing all those actually physically seeing all those families that need food to
yeah,
feed their family, you're just like, "Wow."
yeah,
But we're always so busy and worried about our own lives, and
mhm,
that's why another reason why I like, because that church reaches out so much.
yeah,
They're so involved to help who they can.
yeah, and to not just be a church who preaches something, but they actually practice what they preach,
Mhm.
and they practice the gospel, not just, "Okay, we're gonna stay inside of our 4 walls. I'm gonna tell you this message," like, our pastor, Dr. John Carmichael, he is a teacher, and he loves the word, he loves the
Mhm.
Lord, and he loves to teach his people and help us understand it, and that's one thing I've admired about that church a lot.
And Pastor Erin, I admire her as a whole because she is the most calm, patient, sweetest woman you will ever meet in your
Yeah.
life,
Yeah,
and I definitely look up to her.
I definitely aspire to walk with that much grace.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we share this so that we can encourage you all to, if you are weary about going to church, if you have fear or doubt, it's okay to have those feelings, but just go.
Mhm.
Allow the Lord to lead you somewhere, and no church in the world is going to be perfect.
Mhm. We're not perfect.
Yeah. You can't expect any single thing that has human interaction to be perfect because we're not. But I do believe if you go to a church and they are a Bible believing, Bible teaching church and something is wrong, maybe the Lord sent you there to help improve in certain areas.
Mhm.
So instead of always, which we are guilty of this also, we're not sitting here casting stones, but we're speaking from experience. We can't always go to a new place and instantly try to judge them because maybe the Lord sent us there to help in a certain area and we can see something that the church is not seeing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
All right, we love you guys and be praying for you. And again, you can reach me and my wife also at A Case for the Kingdom on Facebook or the show's email at a case for the kingdom at gmail.com. Until next time, God bless.
We love you guys.